Picture this. The power's out, your pantry is empty, and the store's totally cleaned out. You're sitting there thinking, why didn't I prepare? But by then it's too late. You're stuck with regret, wishing you'd done something sooner. Here's the reality. Life is unpredictable, and the time to prepare isn't later. It's right now. That's why in today's video, we're breaking down 15 must-have items you need to start stockpiling today. These aren't your typical flashlight and canned food suggestions either. Nope, we're talking about overlooked essentials that might just save your comfort, sanity, or even your life when things go south. Think you've got everything covered? Think again. Some of these items are so commonly ignored that people don't even realize their importance until it's too late. From life-saving gear to tools that can turn a nightmare scenario into something manageable, we've got you covered. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around until the end, because we're also dishing out insider tips that could help you save not just money, but precious time when disaster strikes. Oh, this isn't about fear, it's about being smart. Welcome to the channel where we don't just survive, we thrive. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join a growing community of realists who understand that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Now, let's get into it, because wasting time could be the biggest mistake you make. Stay tuned. 1. Flashlight and batteries. Imagine this. It's the middle of the night and everything goes dark. A full blackout. Your lights are out, there's no power, and worst of all, your phone's dying. No GPS, no flashlight app, nothing. You're stumbling through your drawers, tripping over furniture, praying you don't step on something sharp. Sound fun? No. It sounds like frustration and chaos waiting to happen. That's why a reliable flashlight is non-negotiable. Not just any flashlight, though. The cheap, flimsy ones are notorious for breaking down when you need them most. You need the real deal. A durable, heavy-duty flashlight that can handle more than just hanging out in your junk drawer. Bonus points if it's water-resistant, has multiple brightness settings, and comes with a strobe mode for emergencies. A good flashlight isn't just a convenience. It could literally save your life. But wait, it's not just about the flashlight. Batteries are the unsung heroes here. That high-tech gadget won't do squat if you don't have the juice to power it. Stockpile fresh, high-quality batteries in multiple sizes. AA, AAA, maybe even some Ds. Always have extras because you don't want to run out when the power grid is down. Even better, get yourself some rechargeable batteries and a solar-powered battery charger. Why? Because when you can't rely on electricity, self-sustaining solutions are your best friend. Here's the deal. During Hurricane Sandy in 2012, thousands of people faced days of darkness. Those who had flashlights, they dealt with the blackout. Those who didn't, some resorted to using candles, which led to devastating house fires. All because they didn't prepare for the simplest problem, a lack of light. Ask yourself this right now. If the power went out for days, would you be ready? Or would you be the person left fumbling in the dark? Don't make the mistake of underestimating this essential item. A high-quality flashlight and plenty of batteries aren't just important, they're absolutely critical. Don't wait until it's too late. Number 2. Multi-tool. Picture this. You're deep into a camping trip, miles from civilization. Out of nowhere, the zipper on your tent jams, you can't find a bottle opener, and now you're scrambling for something, anything, to cut some rope and secure your shelter. Know what's worse than bad luck? Not having a multi-tool on you. If you think this little device is just a gimmick, think again. This thing is like having an entire toolbox in the palm of your hand. Take a Swiss Army knife as a prime example. It's not just one tool, it's your all-in-one survival kit. Scissors, knife, screwdriver, can opener, tweezers. Yes, even for that splinter you get wandering the woods. At home, fixing a wobbly chair leg or slicing through mountains of stubborn packaging becomes a breeze. On the road, it could literally save your life. Cutting through a jammed seatbelt, opening a stuck fuel cap, or making quick fixes when timing matters most. And at a picnic? Forget about being the person who forgot the bottle opener. With a multi-tool, you're suddenly the hero of the party. Want some historical backup for why it's essential? During World War II, multi-tool like the Swiss Army knife were standard issue for soldiers. They used these for everything from opening ration cans to repairing vital equipment. When life or death was on the line, the multi-tool delivered. If it worked for soldiers in the trenches, it can work for you. That's why skipping this item for your stockpile is not just an oversight, it's foolish. Emergencies don't wait. Whether you're in the wilderness, dealing with a car emergency, or just navigating daily life, this is your ultimate backup. Small enough to carry in your pocket but unstoppable when it comes to utility, the multi-tool earns its spot on this list for good reason. You don't just need one, you'll regret not having one. Number 3. Non-perishable foods. Here's the thing. When disaster strikes, you don't want to be the one fighting strangers over the last loaf of bread at the store. You need to have non-perishable foods already stockpiled, yesterday. These are the heavy hitters of survival. They don't spoil, they don't need refrigeration, and most importantly, they'll save your butt when grocery shelves are wiped clean. And here's the cold hard truth. Most people aren't prepared. FEMA recommends having at least 3 days' worth of food for each person in an emergency. Yet, people always ignore this advice, thinking, it won't happen to me. Spoiler alert, it can, and it will. Start with canned goods. We're talking soups, beans, fruits, vegetables. Why? They last for years if stored right. We're talking shelf lives of up to 5 years. They're ready to eat cold if the power's out. You didn't forget the manual can opener, right? Or you can heat them up when things settle down. Easy, nutrient-packed, and reliable. Who wouldn't want a pantry full of these? Next up, grains. Rice, oats, quinoa. These are your survival MVPs because they're calorie-rich, flexible, and store insanely well. Pro tip, white rice can last up to 30 years if sealed properly. Yes, 30 years. You can't beat that kind of longevity. Toss them in with some canned beans or veggies and boom, you've got a proper meal. Don't forget energy bars. Not those airy snack bars. Get the serious ones, high in protein and calories, like Cliff Bars or RX bars. These aren't just snacks, they're lifelines. They'll keep you fueled in a pinch. Plus, when morale is low, a chocolate chip protein bar can literally feel like heaven in wrapper form. Bottom line? Stock these now or regret it later. Skip the what-if anxiety by getting prepared today. Cool, dark, dry storage is your friend. Your pantry, a sealed bin, wherever. Just do it. When chaos breaks loose, you'll be sitting pretty while everyone else panics. Be ready, no excuses. Manual can opener. Picture this. It's pitch black, the power's out, and your stomach feels like it's eating itself. You shuffle to your pantry and thank goodness you find it a stash of canned goods. Jackpot! Beans, soup, maybe even peaches if you're lucky. But there's a nasty little problem. You can't open a single one. No electricity for the fancy automated opener, no pull tubs in sight. Just you, a can, and your growing frustration staring down an item you can't access. Enter the manual can opener, small, simple, and absolutely priceless. Forget about it being a boring kitchen tool. When the chips are down, it's a straight-up lifesaver. The difference between eating and going hungry when disaster strikes. Campsites, power outages, emergencies, this baby's a non-negotiable. And here's a wild fact for you. The manual can opener wasn't even invented until almost 50 years after canned food came into existence. This baby's been proven almost 1,500 times. Yeah, that means people back then were hacking cans open with knives, hammers, rocks, or whatever else was lying around. Don't be those people. Here's the deal. Not all can openers are created equal. If you cheap out, you'll regret it. Those flimsy ones, they break, they rust. They'll leave you cursing when you need it most. Get one that's solid, built to last. Spend a few extra bucks. Trust me, it's worth it. Better yet, grab 2 and stash a backup somewhere. And if you're really playing it smart, snag a multi-tool with a can opener attachment for extra versatility. The world might be falling apart around you, but with a manual can opener in your stockpile, you've got one less thing to worry about. Don't wait for a hungry, desperate, oh no moment to realize just how crucial this little gadget is. Stock up. You'll thank yourself later, probably over a warm meal. Number 5. Prescription medications. Here's something to think about. Nearly 66% of adults in the U.S. depend on prescription medications. That's over half the population relying on daily pills to stay alive or functional. Now imagine a sudden disruption. No power, no pharmacies, no deliveries. What's your plan then? Always keep at least a 30-day backup of every essential prescription you need. This isn't optional if your life depends on it. Don't assume everything will be fine. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist now. Most of them understand the importance of emergency preparedness and can help you figure things out. One huge mistake people make? They ignore expiration dates. Don't be that person. Medications won't do you any good if they've gone bad. Rotate your stock regularly to ensure what you have is still effective. Yes, that takes effort, but it's worth the hassle when emergencies hit. Here's an interesting twist. The FDA actually has guidelines for certain medications that are still safe to use even after the expiration date during emergencies. Look it up. It might save your life one day. Bottom line, don't blindly count on the system to always deliver for you. Stock up on what keeps you alive now, and make sure it's ready to work when you need it most. Number 6. Cozy home items. Listen up, this might sound trivial, but cozy home essentials are not just about being nice and comfy, they're about survival for your mental health. Stress is at an all-time high these days, and studies prove that soft textures and warm lighting can actually slash stress levels significantly. Want to stay sane when things get rough? Stockpile these. Blankets. Forget regular thin blankets, they're useless in a pinch. Clothing for the winter. Get yourself some proper weighted blankets. These things aren't just trendy, they simulate a physical, calming hug that can lower anxiety. You won't believe the difference until you try it. And while you're at it, grab a heap of throw blankets. Keep them stashed around your house. Whether it's freezing cold, you're having a lousy day, or the grid goes down, you'll thank yourself later for having easy access warmth and comfort. Candles. Scented candles? Yes. But not just any scents. Stock up on lavender, vanilla, or chamomile if you want serious relaxation vibes. These scents are scientifically proven to calm you down, and they can even help you sleep better. Plus, when the power goes out, candles turn into more than just mood setters. They're vital, charming light sources. Imagine yourself sitting in the dark with no light. No thanks. From the Keep a Diverse collection ready to go. Comfortable clothing. Think cozy clothes are a luxury? Think again. Scratchy fabrics and tight jeans won't cut it when stress is through the roof. Soft, breathable clothes are your new best friend. Load up on sweatpants, fleece socks, and loungewear. When you're stuck indoors, riding out a bad storm, or just chilling on a bad day, these clothes will be your ultimate armor. They're the difference between irritation and pure comfort. Get these now. Don't wait until you're stuck wishing you had better ways to stay calm and comfortable. Cozy home items are way more important than you think. 7. Emergency radio. Think you're prepared for a disaster? Think again. Most people forget one crucial item that could literally save their lives when everything else goes dark. An emergency radio. Imagine this for a second. The power is out, your cell phone is dead, the internet is non-existent, and you're completely cut off from the outside world. No news, no updates, no idea what's coming next. Terrifying, right? That's exactly why an emergency radio belongs in your stockpile right now, not tomorrow. These underrated devices are absolute lifesavers when disaster strikes. Battery-powered or, even better, hand-crank radios are essential because they operate without relying on electricity or a power grid that may not exist anymore. The hand-crank version is especially clever. It doesn't need batteries, so no matter how long the emergency drags on, you'll still have a reliable source of information. Here's why this matters. During disasters like Hurricane Katrina, countless people relied on nothing but their emergency radios to stay connected. When roads were impassable and communication systems crumbled, those tiny, seemingly insignificant radios provided critical weather updates, warnings, and emergency broadcasts. They told families where to find aid and when it was safe to evacuate. Without them, you'd be flying blind in the middle of chaos. Stop fooling yourself into thinking you'll manage with your smartphone. Spoiler alert, your phone is as good as useless when the grid shuts down. An emergency radio doesn't care if the power is out for days or weeks. It's your bridge to survival. And it's not just about weather updates. It's about staying one step ahead. Having one in your kit could be the difference between staying alive or becoming just another statistic. Greg. Number 8. First aid kit. Alright, listen up. This isn't your run-of-the-mill, sure you have some band-aids kind of advice. This is hardcore prepping, because the moment you actually need it, you'll kick yourself if your so-called first aid kit is just an old tin rattling with expired pills and a half-dried tube of cream. Newsflash. A real first aid kit could save your life, plain and close your eyes and picture this. It's a quiet evening, you're chopping vegetables, and bam, you slice your finger open. You shrug it off, thinking, no big deal, only to realize there's nothing useful to clean or cover the wound in your house. That cut? Oh, it's now a Petri dish inviting an infection. You're in panic mode, rummaging through drawers, finding nothing but disappointment. But if you'd had a properly stocked kit, you'd have patched yourself up in no time without breaking a sweat. This isn't rocket science, folks. A first aid kit isn't just a box for holding random crap. It's your emergency lifeline. You absolutely need bandages, and I mean good ones. Not just the dinky little bandage, but the heavy-duty stuff too. Waterproof bandages, large gauze pads, and butterfly closures for when things get messy. And don't stop there. Antiseptics are non-negotiable. Alcohol wipes, hydrogen peroxide, iodine. At least one of these better be in that kit to stop germs in their tracks. Oh, and don't forget over-the-counter meds, painkillers like ibuprofen, antihistamines for when allergies hit hard, and yes, anti-diarrheal tablets. Because trust me, when your stomach decides to betray you at the worst possible moment, you'll wish you had some in your stash. Have you thought about burn dressings? You probably haven't, but you should. They're priceless in kitchen accidents or even minor fires. That meant that the dentist knew exactly what to find. Their protocol had been designed to fit. Parents, you're not off the hook either. Kid-size supplies matter. Small bandages, a thermometer, soothing creams for those inevitable scrapes. These details make a world of difference. Here's the kicker. You don't need some crazy, overpriced kit from a survivalist store. You just need a functional one. Building a proper first aid kit is basic common sense, like locking your doors at night. Do it before you regret it. Check it, stock it, and make sure it's ready when the unexpected inevitably happens. 9. Portable chargers. Imagine this scenario. You're in the middle of a raging storm, the power's out, and you're glued to your phone trying to check the weather or updates. Then, bam! The dreaded 1% battery warning. Game over. No GPS, no flashlight, no connection to emergency services. You're practically stranded in the dark ages. Here's the hard truth. Your phone is useless without power. A portable charger isn't some fancy tech gadget, it's a survival essential. When disaster strikes and the grid goes down, your phone becomes your lifeline. It's your map, your SOS tool, your link to loved ones, and your way to figure out what the heck is going on out there. Lose that, you're cut off, period. And don't kid yourself, power outages aren't rare. Most last at least a couple of hours, but disasters like hurricanes or ice storms can leave you powerless for days, even weeks. Are you really prepared to go that long without a working phone? Probably not. That's exactly why portable chargers deserve a place in your emergency stockpile. Forget those dinky ones that barely give you half a charge. Go big, or go home. Look for one with at least 10000 mAh. That's enough to fully recharge most phones 2 or 3 times. And if you want to play it ultra smart, grab a high-capacity solar-powered charger too. Sure, it recharges slower. But when you're days into a blackout with no hope of electricity, that thing will feel like a miracle. One common rookie mistake? Stockpiling a portable charger and then never checking it. Yeah, you heard me. Don't just toss it in a drawer and call it good. Chargers lose juice over time. If yours has been sitting uncharged since last year, it'll fail you when you need it most. Make it routine. Top it off monthly. No excuses. The bottom line? A portable charger is like insurance for your phone. It's small, cheap, and could save your life. Literally. Don't be that person regretting not having one while stuck in the dark with 0 options. Get it now, charge it regularly, and sleep easier knowing you'll stay connected when it matters most. Number 10. Fire extinguishers. Picture this scene. It's a peaceful evening at home. Maybe you're in the kitchen making dinner, or perhaps you're sitting on the couch scrolling your phone. Then it happens. A spark, a pop, and suddenly there's a flame where there shouldn't be. Do you freeze? Do you grab a dish towel and pray it's enough? Or are you ready to act? Here's the thing. If you're not prepared, you're already losing valuable seconds. And in a fire, every second matters. Most people don't realize this, but a house fire can double in size every 30 seconds. That's less time than it takes to scroll through your social feed or brew a cup of coffee. If you don't have a fire extinguisher on hand and ready to go, you're gambling with your possessions, your home, and potentially your life. Still think a fire extinguisher is just another boring safety item? Guess what? Boring saves lives. Now, here's where it gets real. Not all fire extinguishers are created equal. Do you even know which one to buy? Most don't. There are Class A extinguishers for materials like wood and paper, Class B for flammable liquids like grease or gasoline, and Class C for electrical fires. Sounds like a headache? Not really. Just get an ABC-rated extinguisher, which covers all the bases and is perfect for home use. One purchase, multiple protections. It doesn't get simpler than that. But buying one isn't enough. Here's where people mess up. They buy a fire extinguisher and shove it in a closet or the garage, completely defeating the purpose. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Bad idea. When there are flames eating away at your kitchen, the last thing you want to do is run through the house, desperately trying to remember where you stashed the extinguisher. No, it needs to be in practical spots, like the kitchen, near bedrooms, or even in your car. And here's the kicker. Fire extinguishers expire. That trusty red can won't be so trusty if it's not properly checked. Take 5 minutes every few months to check the pressure, expiration date, and overall condition. If it's dead when you need it most, that's on you. You might think a fire extinguisher isn't as thrilling as some doomsday stockpile gear, but it might just be the first item you reach for in an emergency. Fires are unforgiving and they escalate fast. A fire extinguisher is cheap, easy to use, and could save your home, your property, and your life. Skip it and you'll regret it when it's too late. Don't overthink this. Just get one, place it somewhere smart, and sleep easier at night knowing you're... Number 11. Water storage. Listen, without water nothing else matters. You're not cooking, you're not cleaning, and you're certainly not staying hydrated. Water is survival. Plain and simple. Yet somehow most people ridiculously underestimate how much they actually need. Here's the deal. On average, you need at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. Half of that is just for drinking. The rest? It's for things you don't even think about until you're desperate. Washing your hands, brushing your teeth, or cleaning a cut to avoid infection. Now do the math. If there are 4 people in your household and you're prepping for 2 weeks, you're looking at a bare minimum of 56 gallons of water. Shocking, right? And no, grabbing a couple of cases of bottled water from the grocery store is not going to cut it. Bottled water disappears from shelves faster than you can blink in an emergency. Take Hurricane Katrina, for example. People cleared out every store within hours, leaving others scrambling and helpless. Experts agree on one thing. Your absolute baseline should be 3 days' worth of water per person, but if you're serious, aim for 2 weeks or more. And before you panic, there's a solution. You need proper water storage containers. Think food-grade water barrels. A single 55-gallon barrel can keep a small family going for 2 weeks. No space for that? Consider stackable water jugs or even collapsible water bags. When empty, they barely take up any room. But don't stop there. What happens if your water supply runs out? You need a backup plan. Portable water filters are non-negotiable. A Life Straw, Sawyer Mini, or Berkey system can turn river water or even murky rainwater into something drinkable. And don't sleep on water purification tablets. They're small, cheap, and they work. Drop one in, wait 30 minutes, and just like that, you've got safe water. Here's a reality check for you. During Japan's 2011 earthquake, millions of people lost access to clean drinking water for weeks. Those who prepared didn't just survive, they outlasted the chaos. Without water, you're one cut or stomach bug away from serious diseases like cholera or dysentery. Look, the question is simple. Are you ready if your faucet goes dry tomorrow? Or are you gambling on luck and empty store shelves? Take a few minutes to collect yourself, and then call Joe from the spotlight. You're only right with God to pray before the shelves. Water isn't an afterthought. It's your lifeline. Stock up. Number 12. Sanitation supplies. Don't underestimate the power of sanitation supplies. Seriously, do you want to be stuck in a crisis, covered in grime, with no running water and no way to clean up? It's not just uncomfortable, it's a fast track to illness. That's why having proper sanitation items in your stockpile is non-negotiable. First up, wet wipes. These things are the unsung heroes of emergency prep. So, when you can't access soap and water, wet wipes step in. They're perfect for wiping down your hands, face, or anything else that needs a quick clean. Pro tip, go for antibacterial wipes. Don't take chances when germs are everywhere and healthcare might not be around the corner. Next, garbage bags. Yeah, garbage bags. You might think they're just for trash, but no. They're actually a survival Swiss Army knife. Need to seal away biohazard waste? Garbage bags. Need an emergency poncho when it's pouring rain? Garbage bags. Need to create a waterproof barrier? You guessed it, garbage bags. These ridiculously versatile items deserve permanent space in your kit. Finally, toiletry. You can't just wing it without the basics. Things like toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, and feminine hygiene products. Imagine feeling stuck, unclean, and miserable as time drags on. Don't do that to yourself. The American Red Cross recommends at least a 2-week supply, but honestly, go further than that. Staying clean isn't just about hygiene. It's about keeping your morale intact. Trust me, smelling decent during chaos will kind of feel like a superpower. And at the supermarket, find extra time at the checkout with cups-a-size extra produce. There's room for some food in the freezer. Number 13. Infant and pet supplies. Let's be real. Babies and pets don't suddenly stop needing the essentials just because there's an emergency. If anything, their needs become even more urgent. And yet, so many people overlook them while prepping. Don't make that mistake because forgetting their supplies could spell disaster. For infants, you need to cover the basics. Stockpile diapers, baby wipes, bottles, and formula. Yes, even if you're breastfeeding. Don't assume you'll always be able to do so under stressful conditions. Formula is a solid backup that could save you a lot of headaches. Oh, and don't skip out on baby meds. Infant fever reducers or gripe water might just be the lifesaver you need at the worst possible moment. Now for pets, spoiled or not, Their needs are basic. Pet food? Check. Waste bags? Also check. Medications your pet might need? Absolutely non-negotiable. It's not hard, but it's crucial. Plan for at least 2 weeks' worth of supplies. Don't skimp. Here's a pro tip. Keep all these items together in a separate go bag. If you need to evacuate fast, you'll save precious time grabbing essentials for everyone in the house, including the littlest and furriest members of your family. Emergencies are stressful enough without the added chaos of a hungry baby crying or a pet whining for food. Be smart, prep ahead, and save yourself the guilt and the mess of being caught unprepared. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Number 14. Entertainment options. Being prepared isn't just about stockpiling food or water. It's about keeping your sanity intact when the world seems to be upside down. You can have enough supplies to last a year, but if your mind isn't taken care of, you're in trouble. That's why entertainment is not a luxury, it's a necessity. First, books and audiobooks. Seriously, how are you going to get through stressful times without something to escape into? Whether it's a gripping novel, a practical survival guide, or even a self-help book, reading can calm your nerves better than scrolling through social media. A study even shows that just 6 minutes of reading can reduce stress by nearly 70%. You could be missing out on that. Next, board games and puzzles. These aren't just for kids. Forget the idea that they're boring or old-fashioned. Strategic games like Catan or Risk can keep your brain sharp and promote teamwork or friendly competition, which is something you'll really want in tough times. Isolation's bad enough. These games can bring people together and make your shelter a bit more bearable. Then, there's crafting supplies. Sketchbooks, yarn, paints, clay. If you think crafting sounds pointless, think again. Crafting can literally trigger your brain to release dopamine, the same chemical that makes you happy after a workout or eating chocolate. Stress hormones meet dopamine. Plus, you could even create something useful in the process, like homemade mittens or a painted sign to ward off intruders. Get creative. Here's the blunt truth. During high-stress periods, boredom isn't a minor problem, it's a major one. It creeps in, morphs into anxiety, and starts messing with your mind. Having options to keep your brain occupied is as vital as anything else in your stockpile. Your home isn't just a place to wait things out, it can keep you thriving. Stock up on entertainment now, because when chaos hits, keeping your brain sharp and spirits up might just be the thing that gets you through. 15. Fire starting tools. The flame that could save your life. Imagine this. You're out in the wilderness, in your car, stuck during a snowstorm, or even just at home during a blackout. It's cold, the temperature is dropping, and you need to stay warm, cook, or even signal for rescue. Without fire, you're vulnerable, plain and simple. Fire isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a critical survival asset. But most people don't think about it until it's too late. You might think, I've got a lighter, I'm good. Wrong. What happens when that lighter dies? When the fuel runs out or it gets wet? You're screwed, that's what. That's why matches, lighters, and fire starters aren't just recommended, they should be a no-brainer for any serious prepper. And not just regular matches, waterproof matches. Or better yet, invest in a magnesium fire starter. These things work in the rain, wind, or even freezing conditions. Basically, they'll light a fire when everything else fails. Here's a pro tip you can't afford to ignore. Don't just stash one fire starting tool and call it a day. Have backups for your backups. Keep a fire starting kit in your car, in your emergency bag, and yes, even in your kitchen. Think of it like insurance. You may not need it every day, but when you do, it could literally save your life. Don't wait. Stock up now or regret it later.